Well, hello for the first episode of the best podcast I think that will ever exist, The Bulk Babes. Woo! 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 My name is Pear.
Shit. Well, I'm Sammy.
And I'm Paddy.
Well then, nice that we've got that established. So, our thought was for the first episode, go on something simple. Get your mind going, really. That's what we were thinking. So we were going to go on Reddit and go on a very commonly used Reddit page, which is known as
So I can't ignore the browser history at all.
Oh yeah, okay. So before this,
they can't see that. So
does anyone want to explain what that tab there was?
Just look up GNAA if you're interested.
But essentially, I searched up gay midget porn,
and he started deleting a few letters, and then he started on a different search term. That's all I'll say really. Might not be race appropriate as well.
It's with a word only Pear can say.
Yeah, just to say I'm the only one who's allowed to say a word in the title. If that helps as well. So,
but today we're going through Showerthoughts. So the first one we have is Paddy. Would you read it, please?
Millennials would be the last generation to know what life was like without internet.
well, you know what? I think that technically that might not be true though, because I mean we all know politically currently the political and economic state of the world, as Jaden Smith might say, that when Putin drops a cheeky little bomb, like just a small one, starts a little world war. You never know. Go back to the Stone Age.
Should we start again? Should we establish who he's dropping a bomb on? Is he dropping a bomb on all of us?
Anyone and everyone.
Well, the whole point of NATO is let's assume he does it on Ukraine. Ukraine's not NATO, are they?
They are not, which is why we haven't dropped bombs on poor old Putin over there.
I reckon World War III will be a war that will send us to the Stone Ages.
Do you want to hear an interesting thing? I don't want to get into anime so early.
Oh, no.
There is a show.
This weed.
There's a show called Dr. Stone, and basically, we're in modern day Tokyo with a scientist, and suddenly everyone turns to stone. Everything, all civilization is lost, and the guy, this genius scientist, wakes up. He counts the seconds in his brain for every human's petrified into stone. He counts every second that he's petrified, and it's something like 3,000 years.
You know what? I don't think that's accurate though. I feel like he must have miscounted a little bit there.
Look up Dr. Stone. Indulge me.
I just feel like, I mean, it's made up, but I feel like, after 3,000 years, your mind goes a bit foggy. Personally, I don't think I could do that for 3,000 years, to be honest. I think I might get a bit bored. Surely you just get a bit confused on numbers. He's probably within the nearest 1,000 years, but I mean, either way,
Should we see what the guy that posted the thing?
Name drop, because interestingly enough, more and more people ascended, and the interesting thing was in the show there were people who were in space, right, astronauts.
Okay then.
Right, and when they land, they discover everything has turned to stone and nothing is alive. So obviously, knowing they have let's say they're in their 30s, 40s, they got at best 50 years to live. They have children for the sake of humanity. And
if I have to, I mean, it's the only way that
anyway, suffice to say, in 3,000
if we were the last 3 astronauts on Earth, who got to stop me?
In 3,000 years, there is a new civilization, and they are in the Stone Age. And then people start emerging who come from 3,000 years back, all aware of the internet, technology, and then they have to work with the Stone Age people to rebuild civilization. Very cool. Very interesting.
It does sound quite cool, to be fair. Sure. I don't think that's going to be the reason that we go back to the Stone Age, but you know what? You never know. You never know.
To be honest, you can't say anything's impossible in this day and age.
Well, the whole point of Showerthoughts on Reddit is to see the comments.
Okay, we'll go with that.
So someone said this is exactly how I describe what millennial means. If you remember parts of your childhood before and after the internet became a household thing, you are a millennial. That's not exactly.
So just to remind everyone as well, because we did go on a bit of an anime tangent there, if I must say. Yeah. So the whole shower thought was that the millennials were the last generation to experience pre-internet times. And you know what? It probably will be true, but on the slight chance,
I think it's more likely that it's not true.
Slight.
Really? You're going to go that far?
Yeah.
Some people still don't know what the internet is. I mean, it's
weapons,
very
everything
niche
is.
truth,
All weapons are evolving. One day it's just going to get to the point where there will be there will be some war eventually.
Yeah, it's inevitable, realistically.
And I mean, obviously it could be like hundreds and hundreds of years from now, but there'll be one where every single person is involved, and it will go back to the Stone Ages.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely plausible. I mean, to be fair, yeah, as Paddy was saying a little bit there, there are people already, like still, who don't know what life is like with the internet. So, I mean, I feel like we're being a bit pedantic, obviously, but I mean, yeah, no.
I'm trying so hard to be PC. So many things that flash into my mind. If this was to ever pick up traction, we
would be cancelled, as they say, in this day and age. Okay, so second shower thought is the K2 being slightly shorter than Mount Everest has probably prevented thousands of deaths. You might think for a second, what does that actually mean? So okay, you know what? Just guess what they mean, and I think I know what they mean.
K2 being slightly shorter than Mount Everest. I haven't got a clue. What is the K2 a mountain? Is K2 a mountain?
Okay, that's a good start. Yeah. That's a good. It's the second tallest mountain.
Okay.
Paddy, do you have any hypotheses?
Honestly, I was going along the lines of maybe something to do with the base camp. No, I've got no idea.
Well, I believe, I could be proven drastically wrong when we click on this link here, but I believe the reason is because K2 is far more dangerous to climb. So the whole thing is that Mount Everest, loads of people go up it because it's the tallest mountain in the world, but if K2 was the tallest mountain in the world, loads more people would try and climb it, and loads more people would die trying to climb it. So that's what I think.
Let's click it.
But we'll click it to find the answer. I could look like an alright crap.
I think you're right, to be fair.
We can have a little check. I mean, currently it is.
Oh, you know what? It's because it was posted. There you go. My bad.
Oh, okay.
You are right. K2 is one of the most dangerous mountains to climb, and I think that 25% of climbers die.
What makes it so dangerous, though?
I think it's just like
probably really rocky.
Yeah, I think the terrain. I mean, mountains are normally quite rocky.
Yeah,
that is part of the mountains.
Look at
That's what our podcast was.
Well, yeah. Well, if you were wondering why the bulky boys are called the bulky boys, it's because we all were or potentially have some current bulkiness. So that is why.
Some more than others, I like to add.
Yeah, some more than others. Yes, I would like to add.
Leave that to your discretion.
Yeah, so as you can see,
your bench press? I'm 1% of people that climb Mount Everest die. That's really low compared to what I think it would.
But if you think about 1%, is still quite high though.
Yeah, you know how much intense training you have to do to climb Mount Everest. You're not gonna.
Is that a legal thing? Is that like?
No, you could rock up without doing any training, and I don't think they can stop you.
Do you know? It's allegedly one of the most. Apparently, it can cost up to 250 grand just to climb it. You know, you're not talking about just getting to the base of the mountain and climbing. You've got months and months of things. Probably months is maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but you've got a lot to prepare for.
I've heard though that climbing to the base is actually the base camp is actually not that bad, and a lot of people who actually don't need training could do it. So I mean, I think a popular thing to do is go to the base. To be fair, so I mean, that's probably not as bad. But then again, I don't think that's what they're talking about. So 1% is still high though.
It does. The site.
I was just thinking the amount of people that climb it. 1%.
I mean, this is the comment below does say it's 4%,
but I mean, it's probably
it's going to be between that range. 4% is in deaths-wise is much more than 1%.
1 in 25 people dying is pretty
And you have to
bad.
also consider, since Everest is so famous, so well known, you got to have some fucking idiots climbing there. Sorry to drop the bomb already, but I didn't think I'd be the first.
Yeah, so as you can see, I'm clearly the most cracked in just life, as I clearly knew that fact without even having to have a little check there. So As we can see, I'm clearly the superior human, so we'll just get that straight. You'll learn that as the podcast progresses, obviously, but just to get it out there, I am clear.
No, I'm not even going to argue. There is clear.
Okay, we've not even got an argument, you know. I was not expecting that there. I was not expecting
What's going on here? Get a room, please. Fine.
Talk about the irony of this guy doing that.
I don't want to hear about this guy's dodgy antics, honestly. This absolute menace.
Okay, so we've changed the shower thoughts to top of all time.
Oh.
Yeah, you might have heard a lot of these though. That's the only concern, really.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean,
we haven't, have we?
Yeah.
So that's the point of the podcast.
Yeah, our unique takes as well. Obviously, we are the greatest podcast on the world, as we were saying. So
Subjective. You say you.
Objective.
I said objective.
Okay.
You.
Who is you? Who are we talking to? What?
Probably no one. But on the small chance there is someone there, maybe once we are millionaires and we have thousands of podcasts and they go back to where did it all start? And they realise, damn, they fell off from the first episode. It already peaked.
It's a some time capsule.
Yeah, exactly. We can look back, even if we don't post this, if you don't exist, we can look back at this in even a couple of years, even a couple of months, and we'll be like, damn, that's pretty
That's
cool.
weird, like one of us could be really, like, we could be famous one day.
Maybe.
And they'll search up, like, in the odd, like someone will go, Per Espinal, Paddy Cameron-Brown, Sam Savage.
No,
They're waiting. Yeah, don't need to have this guy's name.
No, but they go like top of all time. Oldest videos of them.
You got this? Yeah.
17-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly. When we're 75.
18.
Allegedly.
18.
18.
Allegedly 17.
18.
Yeah, no. Yeah, 100%.
And then back to the shower thoughts. So, whoever created the tradition of not seeing the bride in the wedding dress beforehand saved countless husbands everywhere from hours of dress shopping and will forever be a hero to all men. It's a short one.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm surprised that is the most popular shower thought of all shower thoughts, to be honest. I wouldn't give it that title, but I mean, it is valid, you know. If we ever get to like
the guy commented, damn, this got big.
I mean, it did get big.
He was not expecting
200k is all right on Reddit. Let's just say that. I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, to give you a little secret, none of us have significant others. So
Who pays?
Who pays?
I assume if you're getting married, you probably have a shared account already, right?
So what happens is
because the girl's shopping, so
yeah. So yeah, if you have
it could be the parents, probably.
So what is meant to happen for weddings? I mean, the tradition is that the woman's parents pay for the wedding. I don't know where this was originated, but that's yeah. But nowadays, I don't think that really happens. I think it's more just you as a couple, you pay for it, you deal with all of it. So I mean, realistically, it's probably coming out of your coffers.
I don't know about you guys. My parents are going to pay for my wedding.
They said that.
Yeah.
Listen, if
Fair enough.
Margot Robbie wants to get married at some point, then I'm, empty my bank account.
It's worth the sacrifice.
Margot, if you're watching.
If we ever meet, remember this.
We'll leave.
If you're the one viewer of Margot Robbie, I mean, the likely chance
all of us love to you.
Obviously, the likely chance that you'll see this is obviously going to be the biggest podcast of all time.
No, it's just as much as another guy from Australia.
Another guy from Australia.
So, yeah, wait. The chances of Margot Robbie watching this is just another chance, the same chance as another guy from Australia watching it.
I'm not sure she's got time to be scouring the internet.
Yeah,
I think she has all the time in the world.
I mean, if this comes up on her feed, then Margot Robbie,
please. We are 18.
Yes. Now we're 21 guys. We're 21. No, wait, how old is Margot Robbie? We're 30. We'll go with that. As you can see, we clearly are.
Sammy has said more than once, age is nothing but numbers.
No, only for people below 10 though. That's only when that's relevant.
Oh, stuff. Okay, moving on. Okay. We laugh at dogs getting excited when they hear a bark on TV. But if TV was a non-stop stream, unintelligible noises, and then someone suddenly spoke to you in your language, you'd be pretty fucking startled too.
To be fair, yeah, I mean, it's not wrong. It's like when you go abroad, for example, and you're like on some if there's like some Spanish channel, you just hear some random Spanish waffle about their siesta and about their tortillas, mate.
You think
tortillas?
This
mate.
is an interesting thing because there's more than one way that dogs are stated to be able to communicate. A lot of people, it's been claimed that dogs can communicate through their urine.
What?
So I saw called P-mail a lot. So yeah, so it's like leaving a scent. It's
Wrong website.
Hey yo.
So give us a search.
I'm not sure I want to search.
I don't know if we want to see the answer.
No, not P-mail. I'm not interested in that.
Okay.
Can dogs communicate through urine?
In what way? Because obviously I know they just piss everywhere and be like, yo, this is my territory. Back off.
Isn't that bears?
Listen,
Bears?
Yeah, bears piss everywhere.
Oh, they might as well.
No, sorry.
urine marking is a normal form of communication among dogs, and they can gather a lot of information by sniffing another dog's pee.
Well, like what drinks they had for that day? What does that even mean? What the hell?
I don't know much about dog neurology, but I think they might recognise people with smell rather than sight. I think
dogs leave their scent in the urine deposits that they leave
Deposits.
Deposit. I'm slightly dyslexic, boys.
As you can see, he's perfect podcast host.
Yes, that they leave on pavements, curbs, trees, and lampposts. By sniffing these, your dog is gaining information on who is in their neighbourhood.
They're getting a little check around the street. I like that.
The gender of the dog, its reproductive status.
Oh. Imagine if that was that easy in real life. You just piss on a lamppost and all the girls around there know if you're single. Like, I mean, realistically, it's
called Facebook. Who in there?
Tinder as well.
Pair of speaking from experience. He's trying.
Yeah, no, I tried it. Did not work out well. I got a few female dogs, but I mean, those are my bitches.
You know they
now.
call female dogs.
They call them my bitches. My enemy there.
Okay, that's a pretty shit shower. These are terrible for top of all time.
I don't know. Okay, do you want to?
When you're a kid, you don't realise you're also watching your mum and dad grow up.
You know what? This is valid. This is quite valid.
It's true, actually. Yeah.
When you look at like a picture of you when you're like a little teeny toddler, and you see your parents, they literally look so different. Because they're going to be like late 30s, early 30s, middle 30s, any 30s. So they're going to be like. They're going to look so different to what they do now, obviously. And it's like...
Yeah, that's correct. Like, when I was born, my dad hadn't started a company yet, and now... I hadn't thought about that.
You know what?
That's kind of weird.
Your dad thought, shit, this kid is so hopeless, I need to leave him.
need to literally feed him a company.
No, I've told him, and he's told me, I refuse to join his company.
Really?
Respectable.
Okay, respectable.
Because we want to go into the same... I want to go into the same industry he was in. And I said, if I'm going to make it big, I want it to be my own way, independently. I said to him...
You don't have to worry about that one, mate.
I said to him, actually he offered me a job after uni. He was like, if you can't find a job and you need some work experience after uni, I guess. And I was like, you know what, I'll take it as a little backup.
I mean, if I have to, I'll join your company where I'll get favourably treated. I mean, if it has to be done.
But I don't really... the TV's got hand gestures.
Be careful with that one, Sammy. Be careful with that one, pal. Why would I take that down there?
Right, turn the camera off.
Oh, jeez, cut it out there.
Wait 1 second, we have to...
Hey yo, is you German by any chance, pal?
Okay, 1 second.
Sammy's done you dirty.
I guess it's a good time to say Sammy is Syrian, fully Syrian.
Oh.
Paddy over here, basic boy.
Basic? I actually know where I'm from. So
you don't know where I'm from,
Do you
dog?
guys like any drinks?
I'm alright.
Alright, thanks.
It's going great.
Okay, so you can tell them what's just happened. This is live, guys.
What, are we gonna... Oh, I feel like a muppet now. We've got a live audience now.
Yeah, and tell them.
I don't know if I feel...
Well, that's as simple as it is. We've got a live audience.
Okay. Anyway. Actually, you know what? No, Dad, you can stay. You're quite a deep.
Oh,
guy.
what?
No, just away from the camera.
The next one's interesting though. Maybe skip that one.
Oh yeah, okay, let's not do that. Being able to tolerate the sound of your own voice in a video is probably the highest form of self-acceptance.
I feel like I'm getting judged.
Is that?
Yeah, I'm very.
Are you going to stare at me, or do you want to go? Yeah.
Where's the public going to?
I'll tell you after.
We'll decide that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay then. So, do you want to give him a little rundown of what's just happened there? Might have to cut that, to be fair.
No, you know what? We will speed it up. Essentially, my family walked in. This is my home, but they were away in a waffle shop.
I mean, realistically, literally a waffle shop. Oh well, this is called the waffle shop now, boys. Because we're waffling. But we're not joking about that. That's probably trademark. We probably can't say that.
Just a disclaimer: we are much funnier when when the camera's off.
You don't have to say that.
What was that? I think there's something I was going to say, but I mean, it's too late.
Yeah,
to be fair, back to the shower thought. Okay, being able to tolerate the sound of your own voice in a video is probably the highest form of self-acceptance. I mean, that's literally what we're doing right now, to be honest. Like, listening back to this, we're gonna be cringing so hard.
I think
I might have to watch this on 2x speed.
Might have to watch this on mute. Yeah, no. But to be honest, I found an even bigger one. When your mate's family is standing in the corner of the room watching you do the podcast, that's another form of self-tolerance if you can keep going.
To be fair, I think out of all the family, actually your dad would be quite funny with it.
My dad
if your dad or mum walked in, I'd actually just I'd be like, oh, hello.
My dad wouldn't care, to be fair.
He wouldn't care. My
mum would love it, My mum would be like, oh, go. My mum made a YouTube channel. She made a YouTube channel.
Sammy Sabot on YouTube. Watch my video, please.
You know what? I'll keep it secret for now. Don't want the stalkers. When we blow up big. I don't need the views like this guy. This guy begging for the views.
That's his video name, right? That's his YouTube name right there.
Oh, he's got
oh shit.
He's ruined it.
Pear's mum is the contingency plan. We'll just leave it at that.
We're going to have special guests each week after this as well.
Well,
you know what? I would argue, we were talking about this earlier, I think seeing yourself inverted is the biggest form of self-acceptance.
It's really, accepting that you can see
I don't think it's that bad.
I think it's weird. It's because
we are inverted right now.
My hair also slightly leans to the side one way, and I'm so used to it leaning that side. But with the mirror, it just doesn't look right. I mean, So the next show I thought.
Girls don't compliment guys because they're likely to take it non-platonically.
Can you spell that?
Do you know what that means?
Guys take it non-platonically because it happens so infrequently they don't know how to handle it.
Do you know what platonic means?
Girls don't take it because... No, I need to... Look, this is just...
You don't need to know what it means, just like...
No, it does.
Context.
We're testing it. This is a podcast, Paddy. This is a podcast, we're testing him.
It's a fucking spelling bee.
Well, it is for me.
Just think about
I don't know.
Okay, platonic is in a non-sexual way, a non-romantic way.
Okay.
When it's non-platonic, it means it's romantic. And I think it's valid, partially. I do think it's valid.
Let's take it non-platonic.
Okay, so Sammy. So what they mean is that...
not in a sexual way.
That's what platonic is. Non-sexually. Yeah, so what the Showerthought is saying, essentially, is that girls don't give guys compliments because they think the guys will think that they're in because of that. And I think, you know what, that's probably fair.
I wouldn't argue there's that much of a thought process behind all of it.
This guy has gone through some past trauma of some... I reckon some girl has complimented him and he just went... What
the hell is going on? System overload!
Girls! Policy men!
To be fair, generally, it's a commonly said thing now, to be fair, nowadays, is that, men just don't get a lot of compliments, and I think this is part of it, to be fair, it is it's something called hysteresis, when some previous action prevents another action, and that action that is happening is preventing the previous action. So essentially, guys don't get lots of compliments because if they get a compliment, they think it's sexual because they don't get enough compliments. But if they get enough compliments, they'll probably not think it is sexual, but you can never get to that point because I forgot what to say. But essentially, just just give compliments, really. Just do it. When we're dripped out, just let us know. Let us know.
No, even when you're down, give someone a compliment. It honestly could make their day.
Yeah.
See,
Or we could just
Sammy,
keep.
You've got nice tits.
Yeah. Or you could just keep digging the hole of Sammy. Just keep going. Keep going.
I've known you guys for like 4 years, right? 4 years.
So really,
I think it's been 4
years.
Year 9, year 10, year 11, year 12, it's been 4 years.
I don't think there's been a
4
day
years
where I
too many.
haven't been absolutely just roasted the shit out of.
It's all in good fun, guys.
You know, it's a weird thing how that just happens. You know, Sammy's just been at this school, our school, undisclosed school, for quite a while, 4 years obviously, and he's just been abused the whole time, and it just is what happens. It just certain times some people just become the butt of the joke, and it's not like they don't just.
It's a bad thing because I feel like that way it was easier for me to meet people. Because people go, oh, it's Sammy, I know you, I heard this story. So when in year 9, my first year, on our first school trip, what's it called when you go into those really small caves?
Oh,
you guys know the story.
Yeah, I've heard the story.
Yeah, so you go into these small caves, and I was like, I'm a big guy, but I'm quite flexible, I'll go through it. It was my first year, and I was stuck there for half an hour.
I heard them talking about bringing TNT out.
I did suggest to the guy, have you got any oil?
Lube,
I was asking if he's got any lube, which right now...
When you think about it, that is really dangerous, because imagine you got raped at night.
I don't think you need to imagine that.
He wasn't putting lube on my eyes.
Especially year 9 Sammy, I don't think you need to imagine that. Don't worry about that. Yeah, there's a reason we are the bulky babes, let's just say that.
In the first time it was gin sense, but we've all been pretty big boys in our past.
Pretty hefty.
Well, yeah.
Pretty hefty. Let's just say that.
But yeah, the way to get known, I feel like, is either through sports or through not being made fun of, but...
I mean, it's an easy one. Being part of the joke is an easy year.
Being part of the joke, yeah. But there are other people in the year, undisclosed names, who I feel, when they join the same time as me,
you have to also consider the fact that you are most likely the most confident person that I could name. You're one of the most extroverted people I know. You know, it's not just magic that you get on with more people.
It is part of it. It is all part of personality. Thank you, Paddy.
I can be nice sometimes.
Sometimes.
Give it 2 minutes, guys.
It doesn't feel right. Too
Listen,
generous.
In all fairness, this guy bullies himself more than any of us do.
Well, I don't know though. It's probably close.
One embarrassing story after another. No one asks. It's just, oh yeah, guys. You know, yesterday I was watching something on my VR headset.
No! My parents will soon find them.
They will. They'll listen to all of this.
Okay.
I guess
then. Shower number 6.
Pizza 3, yes.
Being able to do well in high school without having to put in much effort is actually a big disadvantage later in life.
Oh, good thing Sammy doesn't have to worry about that then. That's really convenient there.
I did say 2 minutes, right? I just
I beat that 2 minutes.
We're gonna put a timer in that corner of how long that took.
You know what? I think we should consider perspective here. You know, relative to his peers, Sammy might not be the brightest, but
he associates himself with the best of the best.
Law of attraction, you would assume that someone intelligent is drawn to other intelligent people. Or you would also say, if we're calling him unintelligent, maybe we're just unintelligent.
Why?
For being friends with me.
For being law of attraction.
Oh, okay. We brought ourselves down.
No,
okay.
I think we, as a group, we're all quite extroverted.
Oh.
Or at least other people, compared to other people.
Say hi to me, bro.
But Tom goes out just with us.
Well, he literally did come out today. Okay, Tom is one of our friends, by the way.
Tom, you're the only one getting named in this podcast.
And he's probably watching this.
You're meant to be here
He's
right
the only one that
now.
will watch this.
Yeah. Tom, you know our biggest supporter though, I've got to respect it. He's definitely cringing so hard right now.
Fuck you, Tom.
He's definitely cringing right now, but yeah.
Is it a disadvantage? I feel when you grow up, go into a work environment, I think people underestimate how much work you still need to put in. And if you're coming out of school not putting much effort but still getting all the grades, you're assuming I don't need to do this. I think we all did 1 week of work experience, right?
Yeah.
I think we all learn more there than any sort of time, and we can't learn what we learned in that 1 week in school.
Exactly.
You have to put work in.
You do have to put the effort in.
I think.
I mean, I think it's quite an interesting thought though, because I've thought this before. Like loads of like teachers in school hammering this rhetoric that it's like if you breeze through say GCSEs and then they take it to A level, then they're going to take it to uni. It's like if you breeze through it, what's going to happen is going to catch up to you, and I think it's probably valid. You know, it like the problem is like if you're say you breeze through, you don't have to struggle. You won't learn the mentality of having to work hard. But what happens if someone say is slightly less intelligent but puts in twice as much effort, gets the same grades, does the same amount? The problem is later on in life that person will have twice the mentality, twice the working mindset, and then the person who managed to breeze through due to natural luck, natural intelligence, might actually struggle on later in life.
Yeah,
It's about building habits as well, establishing habits from an early age. If you're always hard working consistently, then you're much more likely to implement that later, especially when it's more important as well.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting thought, to be fair. I mean, on a much less serious note, during a nuclear apocalypse, a nuclear explosion, there is a certain distance of radius where all the frozen supermarket pizzas are cooked to perfection.
that's a nice little one.
And you know what? It is valid. It is probably valid.
Is it though?
I mean, yeah.
No,
Why not?
I mean, because
Should we go on a long-winded debate about what perfection is? Or should we skip?
I think we can just save that for
Maybe another
podcast. No, but let's take into account radiation.
There's a difference between cooked to perfection and cooked to taste perfect.
Is it how? No, it's not going to be cooked to perfect. If it's exposed to that much radiation, I think it would just disintegrate.
I don't think you know how radiation works. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, no, I don't.
I wouldn't suggest you eat it, but
Yeah, it probably tastes fine. Probably tastes good. It's just that you might grow a third eye, and you don't really want that. So, yeah. So the thing is, so they would be cooked instantly to a sizzling hot, perfect Papa John's pizza, and you know what? It would probably be quite upsetting if you couldn't eat it.
surely it depends on the pizza as well. I mean, we're talking about some pizzas have 10 toppings, some pizzas are margaritas.
Yeah, but exactly. So you know what? That brings another question, another statement. There are different radiuses of nuclear explosions for different types of pizzas. You know, I think that's an interesting one there. Working out, I wonder if someone's ever calculated the distance from a nuclear explosion required to create the perfect pizza. You know, that's the sort of thing the US would do. You know, they've probably done that already. There probably is a study on it.
They do all their missile tests in the ocean.
Yeah, but I believe that was banned.
Would you prefer they did it on land?
They did. They do a lot in Arizona, to be fair, because half of that is just desert.
16th of July, 1940 something. I couldn't tell you the exact date.
Jeez, look at this history student. Look at this history student.
Wasn't that first ever atom bomb?
The Manhattan
Should we
Project.
see? Oh, what you know?
The Manhattan Project. That's the thing that
The first
created the atom bomb.
ever.
Albert Einstein was involved in that. He is probably the most famous scientist involved in that.
1945.
That was the first one that was dropped.
Yeah, first one dropped on a human, pretty much.
I think it was in America then. Oh, actually, I don't know if they dropped it.
It
July
was
16th.
1945.
I was going to say 1945.
That's meant like the world's first explosion was in July.
Nuclear explosion.
Yes.
Preface that.
It was used a month later.
Yeah, they were like, you know what? Let's just test this
on
baby
the
out.
city.
Well, would we argue that the ends justified the means?
What do you think is justified for Japan to get nuked?
Well, this is an age-old debate, isn't it? Because it was stated at the time that another 1 million people would lose their lives. You know, the war would drag on, countless American prisoners. So
Yeah, but people would have lost their
Great
lives. People would have lost their lives, but they lost a city, not just a life. Like that's.
But you could, if there were a lot more lives, you might not have enough people.
You can't have a city without people living.
Yeah.
Lives build cities.
Yes, but I feel like the problem with that as well is that there is a big US rhetoric about saving lives of America, like an American dying is probably the most offensive thing that could happen to an American. The patriotism present. An American, you know what? It's obviously, I've got no facts for this. I've got no basis. But I reckon the average American would happily kill 4 people, 5 people of a different country just to save one of their own blood. That's just how it works around there.
The nationalism is...
Yeah, they've created their own patriotic society that is ridiculous. They literally swear allegiance to a flag every morning. They are the only country in the world that does that.
I think you have to be... I mean, America's a very diverse place now, isn't it? You saw with the...
It's called the melting pot.
It is, isn't it? I'd argue it's the most diverse country.
It might just be, yeah.
Well, when you have...
Could you
go as far as to say, is America even really a country? I mean, the contrast between Alabama and California. These are, you almost have to compare America to the...
How many Americans are there in America?
300 million or
yeah, 350 million roughly. That's the whole population.
Yeah, but that's American citizens, isn't it?
Yeah? What, you mean like...
How many...
There's got to be at least 50 million Mexicans in there.
Yeah, I mean, then you're getting into the debate of what he classes an American as well. Like, how far...
Do you own a gun? Are you clinically obese?
Yeah. And...
an IQ of a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, also that's when you think about it as well, what is it? I've been out of view this whole time. Oh, what?
The star of the show.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
People are listening to hear your views.
It's because the camera has moved angles slightly. Guys, you've missed a pair.
Oh, you're trying to miss me even more? Okay, I mean, my voice precedes me anyway, so it's fine.
It's fine. You know what? Save it for the next episode. You get to see more of this guy's beautiful face.
I mean, yeah, stay tuned. I mean, what I've got to say as well, I love how we went from talking about pizzas being perfectly cooked to the diversity within America.
That's the beautiful nature of conversation.
Yeah, it really is. To be fair, they are one of the countries with the most, each state is essentially a country.
That is the beautiful thing about American democracy, though. Free speech.
I mean that's another whole debate as well there.
That is a controversial thing to say.
I've got to say, America, that's what
America,
I don't think you can put America really, because it's, as we said, it's so diverse. Yeah, America isn't like one country, is it now? So
what I'm saying as well though is that but even despite that, someone from California and someone from Alabama, they would still kill multiple people from another country to save them. Even if they are that similar.
Are you talking about just an American citizen?
I'm saying Americans will die for their own. That's the sort of mentality they create there.
I would definitely argue against that, just because if you saw, the controversy around the something Abbott case. I can't remember the name.
I cannot remember.
I might have got that wrong. The very famous case about abortions. There were, I'm assuming, a lot of American citizens saying stuff like.
What, you mean the current abortion situation?
Yeah.
Or the Roe versus Wade?
Roe versus that. Sorry.
That's what we're talking about. Okay.
Roe versus Wade.
Stop watching the news.
It's all over everywhere, realistically.
It was famously just before 4th of July, which is to Americans.
American Independence
Day. They would die for.
Firework day, pretty much. You know what? I wonder how many people on the 4th of July get killed because someone shoots their gun in the air and it lands right on their forehead. You know what? I reckon that's a problem with their country as well. I could see that happening. That's just what happens around there. I mean,
is there enough force for it to be directly hit in the air, for it to come down, and is that going to penetrate someone's skull?
Well, you're lucky that I think a lot about
prime tester.
You're lucky that I've thought about all of these random things, and I've searched them up actually. And fun fact, there are countless tragedies caused by someone shooting a gun in the air and it landing back down on someone because it does have enough velocity to kill.
Segueing on from that, I think it's fair to make the assumption that many Americans have a larger skull than they do brain. That's protecting them.
There's pretending going on there. Some of these children that they're creating around there. One of the education system, I believe, is 25th in the world for the largest country in the world.
You know what? I had a friend who lived in America not too long ago. The way they did
He's now dead. He died in a school shooting.
No, he went to an international school. The system they didn't really have. They had end of year exams, but their overall grade at the end of the year wasn't based on that. It was based.
Attendance. Do you know how mad that
It
is?
was based on how they did in the year.
Oh, well, I think that's quite based though.
No, it's not, because bias can definitely.
Oh, what is not intrusive?
Not to name drop anyone, but imagine that was the system in which your year 11 maths teacher was grading you. Do you think
That's literally what
That's how
happens.
we got graded for
Okay,
GCSEs.
Yeah, that's literally what happened for our GCSEs. We're giving away. We're obviously 18, but we did a GCSE last year. Just there was a little time skip there, obviously.
Just imagine.
We all took a gap year before A levels.
I took well, I think in my mocks I got a 5 and a 4 for English, and
Common Sammy Dog.
and I got a 7 and a 6 or 2 6s. Or I don't think in chemistry I ever got over a 5, and I ended up getting a 7.
Yeah, no.
I promise I am like common sense smart, but I'm not good at tests. That's why.
Let's put some perspective here. You are smart. Like if we're being real.
I surround myself around smart people, but it's
smart.
It's shut up! Don't get this guy.
Yes.
That's the whole point of the American system. It's the tests. For me, not the one. I prefer to be based around the whole year.
I think there's a lot of multiple choice involved in American tests. Although I say all of this, although their education system isn't as highly ranked, in terms of in my perspective, I genuinely think their approach is more fair.
Really?
Well, I just think it's unfair to have everything riding on one test. 2 years of work riding on. Imagine you get a bad night's sleep or other extenuating.
Everything rides. Everything you've done in for A level, everything you do in the past 2 years rides on one exam.
I think
like 3.
I think the best thing you can do is
being pedantic.
Take the American system and take. I'll go with the.
Get rid of the Americans. That's the first thing you got to do.
Yeah.
They all have to go.
All right, take
the women can stay.
Take the.
Nah, half of them can go as well. Swap them with like some Spanish. That's what
Spanish. Anyway, that's for another day.
Hola, en español. España.
You make a hybrid of the English and UK and American system, US I should say, systems.
How long we can go?
I think you have a pretty decent way of testing, although I know nothing about the most optimal way to test people.
All you know about optimal games. That's the key. Which is why we are the bulk babes, of course.
And now we're going to go to the next question. The next shower thought. Anxiety is like when Anxiety is like when video game combat music is playing, but you can't find any enemies. Now, I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't personally have anxiety, so I'm not sure.
I feel like this means not as in some like a condition of being anxious all the time. I think it's like whenever you become anxious because of something, say you haven't handed in your homework or something like that. I don't think it's taken in that deep of context, but I think that is bad. It's like sometimes when you I did this a lot.
You're like, oh shit.
I'm getting nervous. I'm starting to get a little shaky. If you know what I mean.
There's not much rationality behind anxiety. You could just get anxious about anything. The shittiest, smallest things you could be very anxious about.
But yeah, I feel like, to be fair, you know what, I think it's kind of valid though, because it's like, sometimes when you're like, something bad, you feel something bad's going to happen.
What's the game I'm thinking of?
You feel something bad's going to happen.
I play it with you a lot.
Dead by Daylight?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what, the sound you get when you hear the killer is coming towards you is literally the description of anxiety.
I have screamed so many times.
You're just like, oh shit, something's about to happen and it's not going to be good. Some mass murderer is about to come around the corner and stab me. And there's nothing I can do about it.
I think that the amount of times you worry about something and what you worry about doesn't come to pass.
The relief.
Dropping game is difficult.
Were you anxious today?
Oh yeah, Pat almost chased some 14. No.
No. You don't want to say that, please.
No.
See, this is why we call him unintelligent.
His name on my phone is Mr. Social Intelligence. But that's for
yeah.
another day. Yeah. Did you like? What goes through? Like, are you've got someone snap off the road before, right?
Off the road.
As in, like, just.
I've done it in the gym. I've done it in the gym.
In your.
I've succeeded to get the snap once. Failed the other time.
Oh, you don't have time the stats.
The time that I succeeded, I got brutally left undelivered for a while. We'll call them both L's. What I can say is that my game on the field has not been successful.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but you asked.
Yeah, to
So many people can't do that.
Yeah, it's, to be fair, it's literally like training.
I like to think I choose not to because in a gym situation it's fine. In a gym situation it's fine, but because you're gonna see them. But if you're like you're out with your mates in like London, and then you ask, it's a bit. You're not gonna see them again. I mean,
yeah, exactly. It's like if you lose out, if you mess it up, like no one cares realistically. Like it's
the
not
train
really.
station dilemma.
If the train's leaving and you don't do it, if you fail, no one cares. No one cares.
yeah, I don't see the point in it.
Yeah, well, you don't see the point in trying.
Not with people that you know you'll never meet again.
But if
The
you
whole
talk
point
to them,
is
the whole point is that if you
will
fail,
never
you'll
meet
never meet them again. But if you succeed, you might. So there's no risk and only reward.
Yeah.
You miss all the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
That is true. Now my sister's currently listening in this one, so we're gonna move on. Pavlov, they can see. Pavlov probably thought about feeding his dogs every time someone rang a bell.
Okay, Sammy, do you know who Pavlov is?
I don't know.
Paddy, do you know who Pavlov is?
Is he the same guy that did the experiment with rats pulling the lever?
It's similar to that, yeah. So what he did was that every time he was going to feed his dog, he would ring a bell, and then he kept doing this. After a few weeks, what he did was that he just rang the bell without supplying any food, and the dog kept running over because they expected. Yes, we have a bit of a distraction here. Yeah, so essentially, the dog kept coming over, kept running in, expecting food because it had naturally been pre-programmed to think, oh, when this bell rings, there's going to be food on the table.
Oh, I've seen that on The Office with the breath mints and
with Dwight, Jim and Dwight.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Exactly, yeah, it's an actual thing. It's an actual thing.
Wait, so what was the thought? Pavlov thought about feeding his dogs every time someone rang a bell.
So the thing is here, so as I was saying, so whenever Pavlov rang his bell, the dog would think that it's time to be fed, but the reverse is probably also true. Whenever he heard a bell going off, he's probably like, oh,
I want to think about feeding my dogs.
Yeah, because he probably naturally pre-programmed himself as well. So, I mean, that's quite an interesting way to think about it, to be fair. It's quite intelligent, you know. I'm surprised it's got that many upvotes, because I'm surprised that many people know about it, to be fair. But it is, yeah, it's quite interesting, to be fair.
People read this and they'll search up on the internet and go, I feel like this is actually a way to gain some weird knowledge. It's quite interesting.
It is.
Conversation is the best way of gaining knowledge.
Unless you really want it, but I mean, that's just a game.
No?
Moving into
I
the
can
shade.
bring stuff in for
Tesco.
Tesco, yes. I can bring stuff in for Tesco. Is that what you're saying?
This was here.
Oh, what now? Okay. Guys, I'm going to leave you to the hands of Paddy and Pear while I help my mum bring in some shopping.
Are we sure we want to have it coming in now? Do we want a little
It's
pause?
just me. I'll do that. No. Actually, should we...
I feel like we should have a little.
Should we-
Maybe should we even wrap up the first one?
You know what, guys? We're going to wrap it up then.
I feel like,
Should we see if there's one more interesting, or is the Tesco delivery guy?
I think the Tesco.
It's-
I think you can wait for next time, to be honest, for the next shout out. To be
So
honest.
I've actually enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I thought this has been quite good, you know.
I think it was a bit awkward at the start, but I think.
I don't even think so.
Yeah, I think that was quite good, you know. I mean, obviously we'll see it. I mean, if anyone actually exists on the other side of that camera, you'll see it as well. Yeah, Margot Robbie. Obviously, if you want to comment down, leave a like and subscribe, Margot Robbie. We will appreciate that. To be fair, and so
feelings will
yeah,
be reciprocated. That's
Alright.
yeah. Oh, okay.
We love you guys.
Goodbye, boys.
And we'll see you.
Lads later.
love the charisma.
And please